What's up, folks? Welcome back to another video. So today I'll be talking about a Star Wars film and a rather popular Star Wars film in the fan base. Now, if you're a Star Wars fan, if you're a newer Star Wars, it depends who you are. There's kind of eras or different groups to Star Wars fans usually. There's the OGs who grew up in the 80s, 70s, whatnot, early 90s. Then there's the ones who grew up with the prequels. That's whether or not that's late 90s, early 2000s, 2010s. Then 2010s, 2020s, there's the Disney fans, which I wouldn't consider them much of fans, to be honest. I mean, you can like it, the Disney stuff, but whatever. I'm talking about Revenge of the Sith. Now, I couldn't find my DVD of it, so I showed the Blu-ray. I can tolerate the film. You know, I watch it from time to time. Also, if you're wondering why I'm wearing this stupid hat, it's because my hair looks ridiculous right now. And usually I wear hats in my videos, but I couldn't find a hat. I couldn't find my Beastie Boys hat or my camo hat. So we're stuck with this. I have a beanie somewhere. Don't know where that is. Anywho, back on topic, back on track. I think this film is overrated. I think it sucks in some ways, to be honest. I don't think it's that good. I don't think it's as good, nearly as good as people say it is. Truly. I mean, where do I begin? What's the plot? What's the story to it? I get, don't tell me what happens. Tell me what the plot of the movie is. Tell me what the plot, tell me what the goal is. Anakin Skywalker turns, but no, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear he turns to the dark side, the Empire rises. That's what happens. You know, each Star Wars movie had a plot. Like the Death Star plans, that they need to get the Death Star plans to blow up the Death Star, right? Empire Strikes Back. Literally just tried to avoid the Empire. Return of the Jedi. Similar, but destroy the Death Star and Luke must face Darth Vader as his final challenge. Phantom Menace. Gotta protect the Queen. What's it called? Basically have to, but also have to defeat the Trade Federation because they invaded Naboo. The Attack of the Clones. Figure out what all this weird, mysterious stuff is going on, like all the clone stuff. What's the deal with that? What's the deal with this assassination against Padme? Figure all that stuff out. What is the plot for this? Because usually in the opening crawl, it gives you a little idea what's going on, what the plot is. This just tells you what's going on in the opening scene. And it's like, yeah, it tells you what the plot of the opening scene is or what the goal is, because each movie usually shows what the goal is, the heroes and the villains' goal. Heck, even the sequels do it. And you know what? I don't like the sequels at all. I think they freaking suck. Now, let me tell you this, though. Once again, Revenge of the Sith, it's not clear what the plot is. I mean, it tells you, oh, Palpatine has been kidnapped by the Separatists. Now, the Jedi, Anakin and Obi-Wan, have to go rescue him. Now, that's a cool opening scene, but what's the plot? Heck, what's the plot of the movie? Because if you look at it like this, it's not made like a movie. It's made more like either like a documentary or like a, what's it called? How do you say it? Like a textbook rather than a story adventure book. It's like a textbook. It's telling you what happens from one time all the way up to another time. It's not telling you like a story. Which is why there's some stuff, I think the movie shows too much. It doesn't leave some stuff to interpretation. It doesn't. Order 66, it's not really emotional to me, to be honest. It's not really sad. And I don't think I don't think that should be the point of Order 66. I don't think it should show how sad it is or whatever. No. I think you leave that for when Anakin turns to the dark side. That's the sad stuff. Because remember, if Anakin is your main character and you see him, you're supposed to see it through his point of view. The Jedi are evil, so you're supposed to have some empathy for him. There is no real main character. There's no real main clear character. Like, sure, Anakin's the main character, sure. But you don't really feel with him except for the part where he's looking out in the distance and Padme's looking out to the distance and plays that really pretty music. I'll give the movie that. But what else is there, you know? It shows Obi-Wan quite a bit, but he's clearly not the main guy. Anakin turns to the dark side, so it's like, it should be somewhat of a sad moment. I know when he does turn it, it's kind of sad, but it's like, okay, that's weird. But he doesn't show empathy for the Jedi. So why are we supposed to? That's the thing. The movie bounces all over the place like the main character, or we're like God. It's not like we're with the characters. No, it's like we're God and we're watching over everything like it's a textbook or like it's not a story. It's really dumb because you follow Yoda during Kashyyyk. You follow Yoda and Chewbacca, which it's like, when is Yoda really much of a main character? Like, yeah, sure, he is in episode 2, barely in episode 1. He's only in there because we know him from the originals, and he is important in the originals. But by that point, that's the first time he really does anything besides the battle with Dooku in the second one. And same with Chewbacca. If you're watching the movies chronologically, you don't know Chewbacca yet. So why are we supposed to care about Chewbacca? He's just a random Wookiee. We should care about him as much as we care about Tarful. It makes no sense. Why would we follow Yoda? He's not that important of a character. It likes to bounce around. Like, once again, in Order 66, in each movie, there's 3-4 planets, important planets, the movies take place on. This is like, oh, we're going to have so many. We're going to have a lot of different planets. Especially during Order 66, as a matter of fact. It shows too much of Order 66. Like, I feel like if one of the main characters like heard what was going around across the galaxy, I feel like what you don't see is scarier than seeing it all. That's the thing. Like, I don't think it just, the scenes don't do it for me, really. Everybody just, we're going to show everybody die, and it's like, are we supposed to care about these characters? And this is not including the Clone Wars show. I don't care about the Clone Wars show. I think that show sucks. Sue me. But basically, I don't get it. Why do we care about half these characters that we show? It doesn't make any sense to me. They're characters too, you know. Oh yeah, so not to mention, we're just gonna kill Dooku off in like the opening scene. One of the opening scenes. That's like as anticlimactic as how they kill off Snoke in Last Jedi. Because previously he was only in one movie. And they mention him all throughout the movie like, oh, Snoke this. It's like we're hearing of this Snoke guy, but we're not really seeing him as much. And if we do, it's kind of in a darker lens. Like, he's more mysterious. Which is exactly what they do with Dooku in Attack of the Clones. But then, Dooku, the guy we've been building up, same with Snoke, just dies like that? Okay. Well, so if we killed the villain from the last movie, feels like everything's done. Well, no. You see, we now have to get Grievous to end the war. And it's like, yeah, in theory, that makes sense, sure. But it's like one thing after the other, like it's a textbook. It's not like a story. It's not like, it doesn't feel like a full story. It just feels like it's to serve the purpose, to show the time between Attack of the Clones and A New Hope. And I'm like, it's just, the movie I think is just so incredibly overrated. Like, Anakin, I actually like Hayden Christensen's portrayal as Anakin, I'll be honest. Like, I've never had a problem with it. Ewan McGregor, he's there, I guess. Like, I think he's okay. I think he's always been okay. Although, I feel like I feel like he's too goofy in this movie. I think everybody's actually a bit too goofy. That's another point. It doesn't understand tone. You look at Goblet of Fire, which I compare this movie with that a lot, where it's like, oh, well, we need to bridge the gap of the previous movie, where it wasn't really too important, but you can tell things are getting started, to the next movie, which the movie after the next movie would be Order of the Phoenix, where Voldemort, all the Death Eaters are back. And we see the return of it in Goblet of Fire. Goblet of Fire does it right, where there's at times where it's supposed to feel normal, it's supposed to feel happy, funny, whatever. But then when it feels dark, it feels dark. This doesn't really feel that dark. The youngling scene, I'm sorry, it's not that sad. Because we don't know or care who those kids are. It's the same thing with the majority of the people who die in it. There's no emotional weight. I don't care about those kids. You know, that might be like, oh, well, you're a bad person. Or you don't care about kids now. Of course I do. But from a movie standpoint, it feels cheap. It doesn't feel deserved. The feelings you're supposed to get from those scenes in Order 66 and whatever, they don't feel deserved. It's supposed, because you don't know the characters. That's why, to me, when Anakin does get burned and he turns, those parts are more sad to me. But Order 66 to me should definitely feel terrifying. Because maybe you don't necessarily care or feel for the Jedi, because a lot of them are kind of mindless drones in a way who just serve the purpose of, we're gonna serve the Jedi, like Jedi Temple, whatever, the Jedi ways. They're kind of mindless. They're not mindless, but they're not really that important, or they don't have character. Oh, you have to watch Clone Wars. I don't care about Clone Wars. Like I said, I don't. I care about the movies. As I've said, I've only liked the original 6 movies. Even this one I kind of like, but still. Yeah, I mean, there's other stuff too. I know there is. The CG, it's better than Attack of the Clones. I think a lot of the creatures don't look that good. The droids, they look fine. The opening space battle looks fine, except there's something about it. It's when they use CG for the ships, they have like a weird blurry quality to it where you know it's not real, or it's like it's not like a real thing you can touch. You can tell, as opposed to the original models, which at times they don't look the greatest, sure. I think they beat out, though, like the stuff at the end, oh my gosh, the stuff at the end of Return of the Jedi when they're on the surface of the Death Star, when they're flying through there, or they're flying inside the Death Star 2, looks a heck of a lot better than this opening scene. Because I can appreciate a lot of what was done with that, the Death Star 2 battle, as opposed to the opening scene for this. It's kind of like, really? I mean, it's fine. Like, it's just mid. It's nothing impressive. I'm not impressed by this movie as other people are. Because what new music is there? I already said there's the Padme and Anakin one where they're looking out the window. That music's awesome. That's kind of the more of the stuff I think they should have had in the movie. Almost feel disturbing in a way they should have had. They're trying to make everything either feel too dramatic or too sad, and it falls flat because I think they kind of rip off of a lot of other pieces from the previous films. Like There's the popular music in the movies, like the the Clone Army theme song or the Republic theme song when they're marching up the steps to the Jedi Temple, and I'm like, really, y'all like that music? I mean, that's fine, but that was taken directly out of Attack of the Clones in the arena scene. So it's true. There's Padme's funeral theme, which I like that music, but you know what else that movie's from? What that music's from? It's from Attack. It's no, not Attack of the Clones. It's from Phantom Menace. Qui-Gon's funeral music. And sure, you might be like, well, what works better? What movie? In what movie does it work better? Qui-Gon's? I think so. I think it works better with Qui-Gon's. Because the music feels mysterious, sad, like a master was lost. And I get that's what they're trying to do with Anakin, like, it's all depressing now. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Well, I don't know. I think the end of the movie doesn't really... You watch the end of Revenge of the Sith, it doesn't feel like naturally it should pick up to A New Hope. It just doesn't. Because A New Hope really starts out very, like, punchy, like, right from the get-go. Let's shooting. Darth Vader, when he enters Tantive 4, I think that's what it's called. The Corvette ship. Leia's ship, whatever. No, not Leia's ship. Whatever it is. He walks, it's like, dun, 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 and he walks and he has this presence, this aura to him. They make Darth Vader all sad and stuff at the end, like, oh, no. And I get that's the point. He lost everything, and that's completely fair. However, you watch the two movies, New Hope, it just feels like nothing happened. I get it was a lot of time passed, but it just feels like nothing happened. And I feel like that would have been better. It's like, because Darth Vader is monotonous, and he kind of knows what he wants to do, and he's kind of like, he doesn't kind of care. Like, there is no emotion really to him in the first movie, in the original movie. Which makes me think, okay, well, let's pick off where it ended in Revenge of the Sith. So it's like, in Revenge of the Sith at the end, why not kind of make him like that? Darth Vader, I mean, Anakin has been turned. He's now Darth Vader. I get he has regret, sure. But it just makes me think, I get, like, yeah, the Emperor has him wrapped around his finger, but it makes me think, like, really? Anakin would do all this afterwards? Like, I don't know. I get he's forced to in a way. I'm just not really convinced, to be honest. He just killed children? He killed Jedi? Yeah, he just regrets all of it all of a sudden? Really? I don't know. It just doesn't work. I wish we could have gotten more stuff with Darth Vader having his suit on, or Anakin with the suit on. See him in action with it, you know, somehow. I know at the end of the movie, he loses and gets all of his limbs chopped off. But I feel like, wouldn't it have been cool to see him with it on some way? You know? I don't know. Wouldn't it have been cool to see the Jedi look all rugged and kind of like, yeah, we're fighting now. Like, stuff's about to get real. We're not going to wear all our robes anymore. We have armor now, kind of like how you see in Clone Wars. I will give them that. Why don't we see any of that? Like, them look rugged? You're going to use Samuel L. Jackson? He's a badass character in other movies. But is he in this? No. He's rugged. He swears. I'm not saying you make him swear, but you make him tough. You make him, like, seem important, you know? Make it seem like he's been through shit. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to make with all the Jedi. Like, this Clone Wars has been crazy, you know? Even though in reality it really hasn't, because you can clearly see that all across the galaxy, there's been no impact from this Clone Wars. It feels like, oh yeah, everything's been fine since Attack of the Clones. Yeah, we're all good. This war means nothing. And I get fake wars where it's controlled by one side, both sides are controlled by one person or one group. I think that's a smart idea for Star Wars. However, they make it where there's no stakes. It feels completely meaningless. Never is it your average Joes. It's a war fought by meaningless people and meaningless. You got the droids. The droids aren't people. Number one, they're not humans. They're just droids. They're machines. Then you have the clones who might as well be machines. In a way, I think, what are they, programmed or whatever in a way? Not really. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they're not like they're real people. And, you know, whatever, in Clone Wars, they're shown as more real people, or like they have souls, or they're whatever. Once again, I'm talking about the movies. That's George Lucas's fault for not doing it himself, showing how they are, that they are sympathetic and humans. No, but it's not like they're the average Joes, like they're the stormtroopers fighting the war. These are they're expendable. They're meant to be expendable. Then the Jedi aren't like your average people. Once again, they're boring characters. That's why I like Anakin, because he's not boring, I think. And Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon, and Luke, because they're not boring Jedi. I mean, Yoda, he's interesting in the fact that he's small, short, green, and talks backwards, which I'll talk about that too. But they're boring. The Jedi are boring, including Samuel L. Jackson. What's so freaking interesting about them? What's so likable? Oh yeah, Palpatine's just gonna kill them all in 5 seconds. You know what would have been better? If they built up suspense and made it where they're all the Jedi, when they're going to go arrest Palpatine, all the lights are off or whatever, and he's hiding or whatever. Maybe build up some suspense. No, we're just going to have all the lights on. He turns his chair around and kill them all in 5 seconds. No. Yeah, we're not going to make it interesting or cool. No, we're going to make it boring, lame, and fast. Fast-paced. Yet this whole movie's pacing feels weird. Like half the time it feels slow and boring and sad, and other time it's funny or fun action and whatever. Give me a freaking break, dude. Yoda. Why does Yoda talk so completely backwards? It's even in the prequels, all the prequels. That's one thing I complain about. Why does he talk so freaking backwards? He doesn't in the original trilogy. He does kinda. But that was to like establish kind of a difference, make him seem wiser. He does it every single sentence. It feels, well, no, literally every single sentence. And it's so unnecessary, and it's obnoxious. Why didn't they make Yoda a puppet either? Like, yeah, Attack of the Clones, they did that too, and it looks worse than he does in this one. Why didn't they make him a puppet, even though they could have? Why? They didn't make him a puppet, and it's just ridiculous. They made him CG. Like, in Phantom Menace, I think he looks good. He looks a bit weird, but I think overall as a puppet, he looks pretty good. Why didn't they do that? I don't know. There's other stuff too. Oh yeah. Some stuff I like. You know, I do like the ship designs. I've always been a fan. And when I talk about this, don't come bothering me about the lore and whatnot. This movie is the perfect way to bridge the prequels and originals. Now, what do? You see the Emperor's like shuttle or whatever. Why not make that like shuttle Tidarium? Like make it look like that? Now I get there's 19 years in between the movies. I get it. But there feels like a disconnect, you know? Heck, why not make so I actually like these ships too. You're not gonna be able to see them, but they're the Jedi starfighters. Why not make when Anakin and Obi-Wan, when they get their ships destroyed, what about they're like, oh yeah, we have the new models ready, and it's like, oh, imagine this. Both Anakin and Obi-Wan have the TIE Advance. Because they kind of have similar shape, similar wing shape. Imagine that. And imagine. So yeah. They use that, right? Um, that bridges it, right? You show the Death Star being built. That's fine. I never had a problem with that. Show Grand Moff Tarkin at the end. But please, why couldn't they have shown the original Imperial Star Destroyers? Like, really, show the bridge between the two movies, between the two trilogies. Like, imagine, just in time they were able to start utilizing the new Imperial Star Destroyers from the original trilogy, like in the battles of like Utapau or whatever, right? Show that. That would have been cool. And that would have been sick. Or show them by the end of the movie at least. Also, Coruscant, when they crash down into Coruscant on was it Invisible Hand? Well, Grievous's ship, whatever. Why do they crash on a landing like a landing strip? Like this is Jurassic Park 3? Can anybody explain to me? Like, yeah, I get there's ships that'll be big and but they all take off vertically. It's not like a plane that goes like. Why not show it crash into like okay. Sure, 9/11 happened. That might have been a bit too soon, but maybe show them like crash through the city, actually through the city. Show that there's stakes to this war. Show that the buildings partially are destroyed, like it's partially apocalyptic now. Show that since the war started, they've had to rebuild the Jedi, not the Jedi Temple maybe, but like where all the politics happened, they've had to partially rebuild it in that time and create like the Imperial Palace. Now, if you don't know what the Imperial Palace is like, the original one, now I know it's like, oh, we're going to reuse the Jedi Temple for the new lore, but back then in the concept art, the Imperial Palace was like this crazy, scary looking palace. Why not make it like that? Like they rebuilt it after the wars happening and they've had to make it like that. Once again, bridge a gap between the two movies, between the two trilogies. Show that the Empire is coming and the Jedi will be no more. Really, show what you don't see in the originals, in the original trilogy, like the Imperial Palace, and make it look cool. Make Coruscant look cool, dark, foreboding, apocalyptic. Make the Jedi look like they've been through stuff. Like make Darth Vader in his prime at this point. Show him in his prime, truly. Whether or not that's with his helmet on, whatever. Show him doing all this crazy stuff. Maybe by this point too, they're like, okay, well, clones, maybe give an explanation of why they have to use stormtroopers now. They're like, maybe this. On certain systems, they're using stormtroopers. So that way you get stormtroopers into the story for the next movie. Start showing stormtroopers, AT-ATs maybe. Show that the bridge is happening. But overall, like for the most part, clones are being used, but they want to establish more of something where it's like they want the people in the galaxy to be loyal to the Empire, or they want it to be, or maybe the clones are running out and they can't use them all because it's like they can't clone them anymore for whatever reason. That would be a lot cooler, I think. Or, well, I don't know. My point is there's a lot of stuff they could have done and it just doesn't, or George Lucas could have done. Also, yeah, it's just, not the biggest fan. It's overrated. It's no original New Hope Star Wars. It's no Return of the Jedi. It's no Empire. It's no, well, maybe I'll be honest, hot take. I think it's kind of better than Empire, to be honest, but whatever. It's no Phantom Menace. It's no Attack of the Clones, and I don't care. If you can have an argument for this in the comments, be my guest. I gladly hear about it, but I think the movie sucks, kind of. Like, I'll watch it, but it's like, it's whatever. It's fine. Like, if you like it, to each their own. I don't love it though anymore. It used to be my favorite once upon a time, but then I grew up and I was like, well, no, it's not that good, I don't think. Anyway, though, that's the last part of the video. You know, if you enjoy it, leave a like. If you don't, well, never watch my videos again. But for those who have watched, I appreciate it. You know, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. I don't care. But if, at the end of the day, it's not to try to convince you not to like this movie. If you love the movie, I'm glad, because, you know, I think the movie is fine for what it is, and if you love it, that's great. I'm not trying to convince you otherwise, but I'm just trying to get you to hear my opinions on the subject, you know. But so yeah, you know, have a good one though. See ya.